You know, I spend a lot of time in my community, the Promise community, talking about education for today and tomorrow. We have students facing greater challenges in our communities and in the job market than we have for decades. We need our educational opportunities to both compensate and prepare our students in new ways. But the budget we have before us fails to meet these challenges. Now, I can already hear the speech coming, right? You know, we're going to say this is the largest school bus we've ever passed. We're going to say that we've increased per pupil funding in the foundation allowance. We're going to say we're increasing money to higher education. The sound bites mask the real picture of education in the state of Michigan. From birth to college graduation, students are being asked to pay for more while receiving less support from our state budgets. Because of the impact of inflation, even our increases are not enough to maintain the same buying power. Now, you don't have to be an economist or have a doctorate degree to realize that even by spending more, if we're not keeping up with inflation, we're getting less. If you look back 10 years, the amount of buying power, the amount of investment that we made per student has dropped by about 6%. And this budget actually continues that downward trend, even with the increases baked in. Across the state, I've heard from teachers who are pitching in for school supplies and making plugs on GoFundMe pages. I hear parents saying that they're dealing with increased fees for sports, something we used to take for granted. And we've heard time and time again, especially for my colleagues on the Appropriations Committee, the fact that we have students showing up to school buildings with code violations. This budget, it doesn't change that. We even had the chance to expand at-risk funding for our schools, including for the first time ever, extending that to students who are at more affluent districts. But this budget doesn't do that. Instead of needy kids getting more books, we see school takeover CEOs getting more bucks. In fact, there's $5 million in this budget to do that. When we pass this budget, we will still be 41st in the country for student financial aid. We'll still be penalizing our universities for trying to provide a world-class education, while we, the legislature, continue to shortchange them in our investment in higher education. We will still be over-investing in pet projects in this budget, like online algebra tools, and shortchanging programs that my Republican colleagues have said are a priority, like reading coaches and literacy coaches. So let's save the congratulatory pat on the back for another time. This budget had the chance to be transformational, but it ends up looking more transactional. You know, I can't even say that this is the best of a bad situation, because we've seen iterations of this budget previously that were better, but somehow through the process, it ended up where it is. So I'm going to close with this thought. I really respect all my colleagues who put work into this budget. But the problems inherent in this budget are the result of a fiscal idea that has proven to fail. The idea that we can keep cutting taxes and allowing more sales tax exemptions to result in greater investment in our schools, which is one of the primary beneficiaries of the sales tax, just isn't true. If businesses don't pay their fair share of taxes, the next generation of students suffers. Michigan will succeed when we make education a priority for our state. This budget isn't there, and so I'll be voting no.